All right. Shalom, shalom to the whole full elect of the nation of Israel. All right, we're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Kadash. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the whole full elect that are also pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, as well as you little amount of sisters that believe. Peace and mercy to you. So today's class is going to be on keeping your eye single, or keeping thy eye single. And this comes from Matthew, the 6th chapter. So we're going to just dive into that. Start there, and then I got a list of precepts linking with the topic. Oh, let me just share my screen real quick. Yeah, because as man, we're getting closer and closer to that time, that climax of Jacob's trouble, leading into the MOTB. Man, it's very important to have your eyes single. We're going to get into that and what that means exactly and what that looks like, having your eyes single. So let me start at verse 19. It's in, I think, 22. So Matthew 6 and 19, and it says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal." Right, and if you're keeping up with what's going on with the banks, you know this is exactly what's happening, man. A lot of people have laid up treasures upon earth and put their whole life and work and effort into into saving money and putting it away into the banks, when the whole banking system is really just a Ponzi scheme. You're giving your money away to bankers so that they can do whatever they want with it, basically. All right. And it says, "But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, where thieves do not break through nor steal. Okay. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." Right. So what you care about the most, that's where your mind is going to be thinking about the most. All right. If you're looking forward to the kingdom and the downfall of this wicked kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, and the downfall of this wicked kingdom, guess what? You're going to be focusing on pushing this truth, building up your faith, building up your knowledge of the scriptures, getting the correct understanding. Okay. Verse 22, it says, "The light of the body is the eye. If thine eye be single, thine whole body shall be full of light." Okay, so let's look up this word single. Single, right? And this is it in the Greek.
Strong's G 573. Haplus.
Right. And the definition here for single, it tells us simple, single, whole, good, fulfilling its office, sound. Right. So we have an office in this truth, man. And the main office is what? To teach this word and to prophesy against this wicked kingdom. But you got to do that in truth, in sincerity, and in truth. So if you're focusing on fulfilling this office, guess what? Your whole body is going to be full of light. Light, meaning the knowledge of the Lord. that wisdom. And you got a lot of camps out there now, a lot of different heresies coming up now. And that's because we're that much closer to the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important, especially now, to make sure that our eyes are single. Going over breakdowns, making sure that we understand the breakdowns completely, so we teach it correctly. Refreshing, referring our knowledge in this truth.
Yeah, beautiful point, because in order, the first step is that eye, right? Let's go back to, I'm going to pull up the precept a little bit later, but I just wanted to stress on the point of the precept that came out in regards to the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because there's no way that you can, if you don't have the eye salve, so to speak, and the light, you cannot receive this treasure that you read there in verse 19?
Yeah, 18, I think. Or
Excuse me, 18.
20.
Yeah, lay up your treasure. So the precept that comes to mind real quick is Isaiah 33:6. That treasure.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Let me get that precept, brother, for me. Yeah, because it's important in regards to the first foundation of receiving the treasure. Isaiah 33:6 goes into that. You just grab that so I can. Yeah.
Isaiah 33:6, and it reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times,
Mm-hmm.
and strength of salvation.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Lord is his treasure."
Beautiful.
God.
So yeah, that's going into faith. And as faith-based Israelites, we fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And as you can clearly see, basically the people don't have that eye salve and that light, because it's basically going into the Rakakwadash.
Yeah.
I have one more precept that I wanted to bring out on this treasure and eye. If you could hold on, but grab what you got, and then I'll get to it, brother. Grab what you got, and I'll get to it. Okay? It's back and forth. Go ahead.
Matthew 6:23, and it reads, "But if thine eye be evil, thine whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you're seeing that, among Israel right now, with teachers saying that hell, there's a place called hell where you can burn forever. Okay. Even with what else they're saying, that Ephraim is not part of the 12 tribes, part of the 12 tribes now.
Mm-hmm.
These are men that have an evil eye. Okay, which means, simply put, they're very carnal. Because a lot of these men, like Apostle Kabara brings this up quite often, when you go back to Yahushai's time, a lot of the Sadducees and the Pharisees, especially the Pharisees, were really just very jealous of Yahushai.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's what you got going on in Israel right now. There's a lot of jealousy, right, of the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone on down. Okay, so you got every type of Israelite coming up with whatever doctrine they can come up with, just to spite, what's being taught.
Mm-hmm.
That's showing that their eyes are full of evil, and guess what? The whole body is full of darkness. That's why they go off concerning the proper breakdowns of the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 24, it says, "No man can serve two masters." So guess what? You got to be focused. All right. We in this time that we're in right now, with things happening like with the bank, because we all believe, all right, in sincerity and truth, that the next global crisis, is going to be a financial crisis, according to the scriptures. We just went through a biological crisis. The next one is going to be a financial crisis, a global financial crisis, man. So we got to be focused, because the first lockdown that was like the prelims to the final stage. All right, all of us are going to be tested on a high level, so it's very important to keep our eyes single. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. And basically that's whether you serve the world or your flesh, which is the same thing. The world and your flesh are the same thing, or they're intertwined with each other, or you serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, there's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
It says, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon. All right, let's go look up the word Mammon. And that's why a lot of people are going to bug out, even within this truth. All right, within Israel, a lot of people are going to bug out because when this financial crisis hits, because truly in their heart, they're still serving Mammon. So Mammon.
Strong's G 3126. Mamonas. Mamonas.
Right. So it says Mammon, treasure, riches, where it is personified as and opposed to God. Right. Because the money of this world, all right, which is not money, but the so-called money of this world is really linked to a God, right? It's linked to Satan. All right. That's you look on the dollar, the American dollar bill, you have all these different satanic symbols on it, man. So you're just serving a God, man. That's what you think you're just paying your bills, or you're just buying food, but every transaction you make with that currency, so-called money, you're serving a God. And you see these different camps, man, they're caught up in that. They're caught up with the wealth, the money, the fame, having every Israelite like you, and all these things. When all hell breaks loose, then we're going to see we're going to see if all those things, save them from all these troubles that the Lord's bringing. Okay, let me get this real quick. This is Proverbs 4 and 25. And it says, it's just straight. It says, let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Right. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left hand. Remove thy foot from evil. All right. This is keeping your eyes single.
Yeah, I have a precept because the focus here is this treasure, ultimately, right? The single purpose. And the Lord says that he's going to give you his spirit, right? Which is that spirit of fear and faith. But let me get this precept here that I wanted to bring out, right? In regards to the treasure. This is the wise man, Ecclesiastes 2 and 8. Right? I have it. If you hold what you have, I'll just read it. It says, I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of the kings and of the provinces. And I got of men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. Now, the peculiar treasure of the kings, that's the focus here. It's this truth, right? But it tells us in Isaiah there that it's the Lord's treasure, right? Which is which is the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So all of what you've said so far, these camps and these men, they're focused on the idolatry aspect, right? Because the scriptures came out, simply put, about serving two masters. And these camps are caught up into that jealousy. That's also an idol when you go into it, okay? And that's their focus. But the Lord is saying, be single to this treasure, okay? Because you claim that you found it, right? But the scriptures declare by their fruits, right? You can see all these men are acting, man. Like they're going to be here forever, man.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a treasure. I just want to read that. So, peculiar treasure of the kings.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I'm gonna keep reading because this is a great account from Solomon, right? Because verse 9. So I was great and increased to more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from thee or from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy. So he was living it up as a king, man. Everything that you could possibly think of that you could do to bring joy to your heart and righteousness and, in wickedness, because he did search out all matters. King Solomon did it. It says, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Right? And so this is what he says. It says, then I looked on all the works that my hand had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. So when you read this account, you got to think to yourself, man, like King Solomon was rich and had everything his heart desired. And still at the end of it all, when you go to the 12th chapter of this book, he says he found out that the whole duty of man is to fear the Lord and keep his commandments and serve him. You see, everything, man. And that's something to take seriously because this guy had everything.
Yeah, all kinds of experiences and
right,
mental climaxes that nobody really had.
Con, yeah.
And he basically, he said everything is vain.
Yeah.
And then he said youth is vanity too in another scripture.
Con, yeah.
And that's what something that's praised in the society is youth.
Yeah.
Forever young,
Yeah.
Idolatry again.
It's true.
The word here that straddles along with the word treasure is peculiar. So I have this word right here.
Okay.
I have it in the etymology. There's other precepts that will determine this because it's there. It says belonging exclusively to one person. Think about that, right? So this is the wise man. He was filled with the Spirit. We know the story, right? That's why it says peculiar treasure. Yeah, there's treasure. That's the distinction, right? He had everything, but it's going into spiritually, the Spirit being with him, the treasure, because he feared the Lord. But anyway, that's the point. It says, belonging exclusively to one person. Also special particular. Okay. Yeah, that's the one that jumps out on me. Private property. All right. Okay. And it says literally, I like this one. Literally, property in cattle, right? Remember I sent you that precept? A cattle up on 1,000 hills are mine. Yeah. So he was prophesying that everything belongs to the Lord.
Yeah.
It's not going to belong to men, but I just thought I'd read that one. Okay. But anyway, the point there is the main one that jumps out is belonging exclusively to one person and special particular. Anyway, that's the point, brother, on the word particular.
Con. This is 2 Corinthians 11:3. And this is a straight point. It says, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahushua. And that simplicity that's in Yahushua starts with what? The fear of the Lord, man. Because you have to understand the Lord can put a bug out spirit on you. Like look what he did to Saul. Right? Saul was anointed and the Lord was with Saul, but then the Lord sent an evil spirit to Saul, and ever since then, Saul never got the spirit back, and he was trying. He never got it back. You know, he tried to kill David, but the Lord can do that. And so that's the first and foremost thing when it comes to the simplicity in Yahweh Shai, because your fear of the Lord links with your faith.
Hey, can I bring this out? This is just to back you up, right?
Mhm.
You're talking about the fear of the Lord,
Right.
and that's something that guides you, right?
Con.
And in this world, nobody really follows. You know, they follow their own spirit, their own mind,
Con.
right? So this is in the Apocrypha. This is Ecclesiasticus 5, and I'll go to the point, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart," right? And that's what the majority of people, you know, you're seeing all kinds of people, you know, glorying in the flesh and following after their mind and strength, right? They might be chiseled or carved out or whatever,
Right.
and they have their own mindset that they're
Yeah.
following that's not based on anything really, you know.
Right.
Verse 3, "And say not, who shall control me from my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride." Right? And that's the spirit these people are in. They're basically saying, you're free. You have one life. So who's going to control me? Who are you? Right?
Right. Yeah.
They don't know that the Most High set up men to be judges.
Right.
But that's just going into what you're talking about, the fear of the Lord. It's very important because you need those protocols, man. You can't just be out here like a beast. You know, like these people, they just wake up and, you know, oh, what does the news tell me? What does this book tell me? What is, you know, this mentor, right? But, you know,
yeah,
that was it.
Con. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you read Ephesians 6 and 4?
Yeah, give me a second here. I gotta get this.
No problem. Yeah, get what you got. It's just to go ahead with what the brother was saying. Go ahead.
Oh, that's funny because Ephesians 6 is my next precept too. Subtlety here. I just wanted to look up the word subtlety, and it says craftiness, cunning, a spacious or false wisdom. Right? So
remember, the Apocrypha says in the Ecclesiasticus, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
Right.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's right, man. Because that knowledge of wickedness is going to teach you to rebel. It's not wisdom teaches you to fear the Lord. All right, the knowledge of wickedness teaches you to rebel against the Lord. Okay, and it says in a good sense, prudence, skill, undertaking care of affairs. But yeah, it's the main thing here is craftiness, cunning, and false wisdom, man. So a lot of Israelites are going to get caught up in Satan's going to get a lot of these Israelites, man. Really, that's why Paul was saying what he was saying, right? He's saying, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve, all right, through his subtlety, so your minds shall be corrupted from the simplicity in Yahweh Shai." So Esau's gonna get you a lot of you Israelites, and you're gonna get corrupted. You're gonna take that MOTB, and you're gonna be destroyed. You know, but for us that are sincere in this truth, man, we're focused on building up our faith in the Lord, right? Keeping things simple, straightforward, and without hypocrisy, being hypocrites, right? Because here, sincere, simple, it says what? The word simple says singleness, simplicity, sincerity, mental honesty, right? The virtue of one who is free from pretense and hypocrisy, right? Not self-seeking. A lot of Israelites are self-seeking when it comes to this knowledge, man, because they got some wisdom, and the scripture tell you that what wisdom puffeth it up, right? So you see them, you know, doing things for their own desires, not because they're trying to serve the Lord. In their minds, they'll tell themselves. That's why it says mental honesty. They'll lie to themselves and tell themselves they're doing it for the Lord, right? But really, truly is really they're doing it for themselves.
Con.
Okay, and that's why
That's why Paul said, examine yourself daily, right?
Con,
You gotta examine yourself and see if you're about this, or what's going on in your mind.
Con.
Right? Are you being too proud? Are you vain? Are you,
Yeah. Con.
Right.
It's true. Yeah, it says
that goes
open
for all of us,
Con, 100%. 100%. Openness of heart manifesting itself by generosity. Yep. So.
Yeah, but then charity edifieth, right? Paul said that.
Con.
So
Yeah.
this is what you're saying a month about. This is the main thing. This is prophecy.
Con.
You got to be occupied in prophecy, teaching, edifying. Right?
That's right, man.
Right.
Con. So you wanted to go to Ephesians, right?
Yeah. You know what? Recite from the top. It's straightforward, and then get to your point. Get to the point right there. Verse 5, right?
I got it to verse 8.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
Start from one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, because character perfection,
So,
the spirit. Go ahead.
Ephesians 6:1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, for this is right. Okay, so your elders, man, those are your parents in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The elders, right? The apostles.
Right.
Even brothers that are above you, those would be your parents. Even brothers that brought you in, brothers that the Lord used to bring you in.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord really brought you in. This is this also pertains to that too. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
Which I have to say,
yeah.
Salaki, I have to say, even when you mention that, some Israelites go off balance with that, because they'll, like Paul, when he mentioned, some say I am of Paul, I am of Apollos, right? So some men start to idolize almost.
Right.
Certain men,
right.
Or trying to make like a clan, like, oh, I'm from this clan, I'm from here, I'm with this camp, or I'm with, So it goes both ways, right? Brothers have to understand that as well.
Yeah.
This whole grand thing is of the Lord, man. He's the one that's watering, or increasing, right? Because Paul said, Apollos have planted, I have watered, but the Lord, He gave the increase.
That's right.
The water, we can water all we want, but if the Lord doesn't give the increase, that water is acid rain. That water is toxic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's a good point. Yep.
No, that's it. That's a single eye purpose right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Verse 3, it says, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nature and admonishing of the Lord. Right. So basically what the elder just said, because, like he was saying, you got younger brothers who might idolize older brothers, and you got to know that this is of the Lord. But then you got older brothers that idolize themselves because they got young following, right? So this is that you can't. So then you guys remember that camp that had the head had them running up hills doing push-ups and all that kind of stuff years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, Patash. I think it's Patash.
Right.
Yeah. Chicago.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Right. And then you got some brothers, who are just are kind of like too harsh on younger brothers too.
Yeah.
Putting too much on them, which is, bringing them to wrath. You got to bring them up in that nature of the Lord, man. Nurturing of the Lord.
God.
Right. It says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Yahushai. Let me look up the word singleness.
And then let's just put this out as well, because you have a lot of men that they start to get irritated by the order, or they start to, get for whatever reason, there's a schism,
Yeah.
and that can be worked out. But there's times when it can be worked out, and really the best thing for you to do is just to leave and do your own thing, because that happened with Paul and who was it, Barnabas, I believe.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of men, what they do instead? They torture themselves for years in the camp, and then they get bitter, and then they leave, and then they talk shit, and we don't really need that spirit around, because you can feel it off certain brothers sometimes, where brothers are bitter for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You got to work that out yourself. You can't bring that into the camp, like you got to understand that whatever is happening, if you spot multiple things off in the camp, you got to bring it up to a certain order. You got to call a certain brother, or talk to a certain head or an elder or whatever, and bring it out. Because those can be demons plaguing you too. Trying to just mess up the whole flow of the camp.
Yeah.
And you're just there stuck. You feel stuck. And your anger every week is piling up, and you're catching hell in the world already, and then you come to camp and it's like a double hell. It's like a demon, man. So we got to bring that out as well, because those things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with doing your own thing. If you don't like the order, you can go.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're gonna talk shit. If you go do the work, may the Most High bless you, bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ephesians 6:6, it says, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the service of Yahweh Shai, doing the will of Yahweh from the heart. So that goes into sincerity, man. You got to be sincere in this truth, and you got a lot of eye service, and you got a lot of men pleasers in this truth, right? But again, the only person you should be looking to please is the Heavenly Father and His Son.
Singleness, yep.
That's the singleness. That's right.
You focus on the eye, the single eye. Go ahead, the light. Go ahead, brother.
With good will, doing service, right? And Yahweh Shai laid out the service, right? It starts with what? The brotherhood, teaching this truth. That's mainly it, man. The whole service of the Lord can be comprised in showing brotherly love and then teaching the word, right? In truth. It says, as to the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, and not to men. Knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, whether he be bond or free. And ye masters, just verse 8. That's all I had.
Yeah, that's it.
Now I'm gonna get 1 Corinthians 3, because you can also link singleness as well as to focus, right? Focusing on Yahweh Shimon Shai, but also the fact that every man has to work out his own salvation. That's why the previous precept we read, it said, not as men pleasers. None of us can save each other here in this truth, man. It's Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shimon Shai, that's going to save the elect. Okay.
You got demons that they think, okay, I'm going to come up this rank, and then I'm going to get friendly with this guy,
right?
And then I'm going to make a contact here, and then I'm going to get up to the apostles. You got people thinking that this is like some chain of command thing. You go up the ranks, and man, this is a grand, beautiful thing that we're part of, man.
Yeah.
This is the Lord's table, brothers.
Right.
So this is not about you. It's a miracle that you're actually understanding what's going on, even. Because there's a bunch of dead people in the world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 1 Corinthians 3:12, it says, now if any man build upon this foundation, right, the foundation that Yahweh Shai established, which is Yahweh Shai, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it. All right. And that great day, really, you can link that to what? The MOTB, the hour of temptation. Because that's when we're going to know what work each man is of.
You're going to know who is who.
Exactly. Gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, and stubble, man. And the Lord is only looking for gold and silver, man, and precious stones. Okay. It says, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, adversity. All right. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. You know, in the world,
and when it messes with it, you're gonna see who's the elect,
right?
whose work was built. You know, who did the work properly.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Right. You're gonna see them get beamed up. I was gonna say that in the world they tell you that you truly know somebody when they're going through adversity rather than when they're doing good.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when really everything that's in their mind starts to come out, because that's what adversity does. It purges you.
That's Ecclesiasticus. A friend may be known in adversity. Something like that, or a brother.
Yeah. That's right.
I think it's chapter 12, but I could be wrong. Let me just go ahead, brother. I'll put it.
And it says that's why we have to pray, and we have to continually pray to Heavenly Father not to take His Holy Spirit from us, man. Because we don't want to be men that are found, wood, hay, and stubble, because those things burn up in fire. These other substance, precious stones, silver, and gold really get purified. Okay. Verse 14 says, if any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. Yeah, that starts with what? The salvation, and then the bodies and everything else that comes with it, the kingdom, the powers. It says, if any man's work shall be burnt, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Right, because when you read this in the NLT, it actually says it pretty nicely, that last verse. Because you got certain people that are going to wake up right at the very end, man, at the last trump, like right away, the last hour. It says, but if the work is burnt up, the builder will suffer great loss. The builder will be saved, but like someone barely escaping through a wall of flames. Right? So yeah, you got some of the elect are just going to be barely saved, man. And the scriptures say that they'd be scarcely saved. Yeah. Okay, so Isaiah 20, Isaiah 8.
It was for the record, real quick. It was Ecclesiasticus 12 and 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and the enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Yeah. So speaks to when when the lack of better words here, when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to trust every brother. Even that's in Jeremiah 6:4. Trust ye not every brother. For every brother shall utterly supplant. Jacob is a supplanter, man. You be talking to a brother, he'll have a chip you don't even know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough, man.
Yeah.
All right. That's why you gotta be comfortable to do without.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Let me finish this out quick. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 28. Here's the point. For Yahweh loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. But the Heavenly Father is only dealing with certain people right now. The Heavenly Father ain't dealing with these artists, And a lot of people put their faith on those people rather than this. right? They're in the men of the Lord. It started with the apostles. They should watching the videos. Get some knowledge and understanding of this, because like you said it right now, hard times are coming, and when Isa comes with this MOTB, you're gonna see who is who's gonna turn your back on you. Even your own family is gonna turn your back on you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and people think it's a joke.
Yeah.
You have a TD. They're coming out with the digital.
Yeah, Khan.
Right? There's one woman, she called TD Bank, and she was saying about how basically they said that she has to consent.
Right.
And if she doesn't consent, then her access card will be taken away and she can't make online purchases.
Yeah.
And then she asked what am I consenting to? And they couldn't tell her because they didn't draft it up yet. But they said, look, we're going digital. She's like, what does that mean? She said, we can't tell you yet. We don't know.
Yeah. And she went up the ladder too.
Yeah, she went to the manager and to different people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's here. All these banks are going to go digital, and everything's going to be traced. They got damn barbecues with 5G capabilities that can hook up to your phone.
Wow.
So look, they're going to measure everything. They're going to measure how much you drive, how much carbon emissions you put in the air. So you might not be able to barbecue that week because you drove too much. You can't let the
Oh, man.
It's funny you say that's like it, because Allstate, they were offering you this device and measure how fast you brake, how quick you brake, and how fast you accelerate. So in order to give you a better rate. So I don't want that. But it's true what you're saying. So Isa, he's doing the best he can to control what you do in this place, in this society.
Right. He wants to micromanage you, because right now in this society he's macromanaging you.
Right.
But he's not micromanaging you.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to tighten the squeeze.
Oh yeah.
He's about to big brother, get the microscope and look into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then judge you, have a credit score. Like in China, they have a screen
on the street.
of fame that if your credit score falls below a certain number, they put your face up.
So like if you do a jaywalking, you face it pops on the big screen, right? So
it's shady.
People think it's a joke. It's funny. Oh, it's only happening over there. It's not going to happen here. It will happen here.
It's already happening. Yeah, that's right.
Come on, man. Come on.
Right. No.
Just a side note.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I also wanted to mention too, in this verse it says, "For Yahweh loved none but him that dwelt with wisdom." Again, I said this I think twice already in this lesson. It's because wisdom starts with fearing the Lord, right? In Isaiah 66, he told us who he would look at, right? This is who the Lord said he would look at real quick. Like people, like man, fearing the Lord, it's such a beautiful gift to fear him, because people don't fear him, and that's because the Lord is setting them up, right? Let me start out.
Taken for granted.
Yeah. Isaiah 66:1. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? This is the point. It says, for all those things hath my hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord Yahweh. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word, man. That's who the Lord is looking for, or that's who the Lord is going to save. He knows these spirits, that are upon the earth that actually tremble at his word. Okay, let me get contrite real quick. What that meant. So going back to, if your eye be single, man, You can't have a single eye if you don't have the fear of the Lord. All right. It says here, stricken and smitten. Yeah, because this truth is like a two-edged sword. It is a two-edged sword. You know, you can use it to cut other people, but it'll cut you too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, contrite, name, smitten and stricken. Yep. Okay. So let me get this Isaiah 8 and 20 real quick. And it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, this it is because there is no light in them. Right? So that's straight, man. The doctrine, Yahushua's doctrine, okay, which was given to him of the Lord as to what he should teach and speak, and then he gave it down to the disciples who later became apostles, and they taught, you know, other people. That is the order. That's the foundation. It starts with Yahushua. So when you got these other camps talking about, you know, Ephraim is not part of the 12 tribes, guess what? There's no light in them. You know, there's a place where you go burn forever. There's no light in them. You know, their eyes are not single, man. Really, they're caught in the wind, because they'll go with anything. That's why they like to do unity camps. You know, they'll go left and right. They're caught up in the wind, man. Yeah, we know who the prince of the air is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hey, that's a powerful precept, right? And it really exposes these other camps because, you know, and I'm going to call out Sakari on it, right? Because this precept here, what you just read, we know what that law is, right? It's pointing to the 613 laws which exemplify Yahweh Shem Yeshua's character. But who's the testimony, right? The apostles break this down in prophecy. They always talk about it, right? He is that ark. And these guys, they continue to slight, and do their own thing. You can see it. It's plain, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's the rock, man. He's the foundation.
exactly.
I got a quick precept though, because
Yeah,
you're
bring it
talking
up,
about,
brother, because that's
you
the
mentioned
point.
about the wind, right?
Come
on. And this is just an admonishment for younger brothers too, that don't go into every way. Don't research all these different things.
Right.
You know, just start off being steadfast in the knowledge of the Lord. So this is Ecclesiasticus again in the Apocrypha chapter 5, verse 9. Brother, pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up real quick.
I'm going to read it. It says, so it says, winnow not with every wind, and go not into every way, for so doth the sinner that hath a double tongue. Right? It says, verse 10, be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Right?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Talk about singleness.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, we should be looking at that testimony and see how he exemplified that. But yeah, that's powerful precept there, brother.
Gone. So my last precept here, this is Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 10. I'm reading down to 16. And it says, yeah, I'll start at 10. It says, because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. Okay, so, you know, you got a lot of prophets that are speaking of peace when we're not coming into a time of peace, man. Nor are we in a time of peace. All right, we're in a time of war. Okay, we're in a time of death. People are dropping like flies. And it's going to get worse, man.
Yeah, perilous times.
Perilous times. That's right, man. Untempered, right? That's what I want to look up. Untempered. And it says here, foolish, right? Tasteless, unseasoned.
Unseasoned, that's right.
Yeah.
And that goes into Hebrews about The time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teacher again.
Con.
Yeah.
You self-taught or half-taught or quarter-taught, quarter-taught Israelites, man.
Yeah.
That they learn from the apostles a year or two, and then they think the Most High is dealing with them, and they get new breakdowns and revelations, and and all these different things, right?
Yeah.
So they're on season.
Yeah.
They haven't actually been through experiences. A lot of brothers, even 5 years, they haven't been through spiritual experience. There's levels, man, to this thing. When you see a man that's been in the truth for 20 years, the apostles in 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
Those men have been through life-altering experiences, man.
Con.
Right. Yeah.
That's right, man.
Some of you guys don't know even in the world what it's like to go through an eviction, getting an eviction notice,
Yeah.
or coming home every day. You don't know if the sheriff's coming.
Yeah.
Your woman leaving you all of a sudden. Some of
Yeah.
you guys don't even know that,
Yeah.
right?
No clue.
Losing your job or getting a shame for this truth.
Mm-hmm.
People spreading your videos. Oh, look, he's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys ain't even ready for that, and you're talking shit about the apostles, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well.
Not ready.
Yep. It says, verse 11, say unto them which dubbed it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall, right? Because guess what? This wall that they're building now spiritually, okay, it's a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when they did, when with the whole juice, you had leaders in Israel telling you to take it.
That's right.
Yep.
And now what do we hear? Young people, professional athletes dropping like flies.
Mm-hmm.
They all have taken the juice. That's a false sense of security. And guess what? They're going to do it again with the MOTB.
If I could say, Apostle Tahar, most of the videos that he make, he always say, a lot of you leaders from other camps, you gotta have to have a lot of explanations on that day when you bring the MOTB, because you're just being deceiving your own people for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did it because they did it because they were serving their own bellies, man. And they never actually feared the Lord and believed.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It says that it shall fall, there shall be an overflowing shower, and yea, great hailstones shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it.
Mm-hmm.
That false sense of security that you have is going to be the Lord is going to take it away, man. He's going to rend it. Okay, and you got missiles that are going to be coming at the end of that too. All right, you can link these hailstorms to the missiles coming. It says, "Oh, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the dubbing wherewith ye have dubbed it?" Right? Because people are going to be asking, when their false sense of security fails, okay, they're going to be asking you questions like the brother Ashar brought up. But you said this, you said that, you said it was okay with this.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to come with some answers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Therefore, you're going to have to explain yourself. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, I will even rend it with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in mine anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it. Okay, it says, so will I break down the wall that ye have dubbed with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered.
Yeah, because basically Most High is saying the mortar in the ancient world was building material.
Right.
So you can understand. So your building material is garbage, man. It's foolishness. Right. It doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Yep. And that's because it's untempered, man.
Yep.
Untempered. Real quick, I'm trying to get a quick commentary on this. I was reading it earlier. And right, it says, it's just from verse 10. It says, because, even because, the repetition heightens the emphasis. It says, peace, safety to the nation. Ezekiel confirms, this is Jeremiah 6:14. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Right? And then Jeremiah 8:11 says, for they have healed the hurt of, yeah, same thing. And then it says, literally, this one said contemptuous, a wall, rather a loose wall. Ezekiel has said that the false prophets did not go up into the gaps or make up the breaches. Right. And it says, ye have not gone into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord.
Yeah, that's why we're in the highways, we're in the gaps.
That's right. That's right.
Wisdom crieth without.
Con. That's right, man. And that hedge is this truth. Okay, the proper understanding of the Lord's word, which comes, you can't get it if you don't fear him.
That's right.
You can't get him without fearing him. And it says, as good architects do.
And you know why, Salakia? Because that's very good. That's a good point. Because that's something you're stressing. Because a lot of people in the world, like we read that scripture, they follow their own mind and their own strength.
Right.
So they don't really, their accountability, a lot of people's accountability is to themselves, not even to the Most High. They'll say, look, I'm accountable and I'm this and I'm that and I got to get up at this time and, and all that shit. And you don't even know you're committing wickedness. So when you hear all these things that you're doing is wicked, there's a time to be abased. And a lot of people, they don't want to be abased because they're proud. So that's why that fear of the Lord is not for them, because they're proud. Remember, the day of the Lord is to who? Isaiah 2:12, to the lofty, to the high.
Right.
To the high, to the proud. He's going to bring the lofty down.
Right.
So a lot of these people are in that proud spirit, like, oh, who are you to tell me I'm doing wrong or this is wrong?
Right. Yeah.
I'm actually having good success. Because a lot of people, they have good success in wickedness.
Con. Damn. Yep. And that's why.
Yeah, there's a scripture that says that. It says there is a sinner that has good success.
Right. Yeah, I think it's in Sirach.
It's apocryphal. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shit.
And it says, as good architects do. Right. So we're builders in the spirit, man. Okay. And a good architect or a carpenter will lay out the measurements, get the proper tools, right, and do it according to the blueprint. No carpenter goes out there and just starts building a house with no blueprint, man. You gotta follow the blueprint. And it says, now he adds that they make a blustering show of anxiety about repairing the wall, but it is without right mortar, and therefore of no use. It says, besides individual effort, they jointly cooperated to delude the people. Dubbed without tempered mortar as sand without lime, mud without straw, plaster it with whitewash.
Yeah, so it said sand, what did it say, without lime?
Yeah, it's sand without lime.
Which is lime, what do they call the ancient world? Limestone.
Limestone.
That's what they call limestone, which is ancient brick.
Right.
Sand and lime. Right. And that's the essential right there. So basically, they have that, as Timothy says, the form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. So they have that form, that outside, like Yahushua said about the Pharisees, right? They polish the outward cup, but inwardly, it's a sepulchre.
Yeah, it's right here, bro. It's right here.
It's a spirit.
Matthew 23 and 27.
Matthew 23 and 23, yeah. The first part what the brother mentioned, Matthew 23 and 23. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, Khan. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whitened sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead man's bones and of all uncleanness. Yo, those are fighting words, man. Damn. It says here.
Basically, he said you're dead on the inside.
Khan. That's right.
There's no light in there. No oil. Oh.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, you're spiritually dead, man. But besides the hypocrisy of merely outwardly dubbing to make the wall look fair, and that's just the precept I just read, right? And then it says,
yeah, to make it look good, like in certain camps they got the garments and they got the, you know, the outward appearance and everything, right? But their doctrine is not pure, man. You know, you're lying to the people, man.
That's right. That's right. There is implied the unsoundness of the wall from the absence of true untiding cement. The untempered cement answering to the lie of the prophets.
Yeah, because you guys basically, you know, it looks like cement, but hey, there's a way to make cement. You got to make it right. There's a moisture to it. You can make it too sticky or too wet. Because if it's too wet, it won't stick. And if it's too, it's too sticky, it's gonna form too fast. So you gotta actually form it right. There's a way of forming. You gotta add the water, enough water, and mix it.
Right.
You know, certain guys can look at it and say, no, it's too wet. You gotta add more cement. Or no, it's too sticky. Add more water.
Right.
But just by looking at it. But that's, basically is going into the outward appearance, man.
Yeah.
Right. The apostles on down, they've told us, look, the garments, they don't matter, brothers.
Yeah.
It don't matter how the outward appearance. It's all about the doctrine. Right. Teaching the truth. You guys are really pulling these other camps. They're really pulling Edomite moves, man. You guys are pulling Edomite moves, lying to the people like CNN and Fox and all this shit. Like that's why the Lord said, "You are of your father, the devil," because they're doing the same shit back then.
Yeah,
lying, man.
Wow. Huh. See, and it says, "Who say in support of their prophecies, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, when the Lord Yahweh hath not spoken." Right, Ezekiel 22 and 28. And her prophets have dubbed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto them, saying, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, when the Lord hath not spoken." Yeah, so that's all I wanted to get on that. Yeah, man, that's, again, I gotta say it again, man, because that, like, you brought up a good point about most people don't, they account or hold up
they hold themselves accountable. Yeah,
right. They hold themselves accountable.
Like the highest accountability they have is to themselves. They don't have it to the Most High.
Right.
Anything higher,
Exactly.
The pride of life, man.
Exactly. And that's a scary thing, man, because when you like, we've all been through an experience when maybe we broke down something wrong or we said something wrong. Immediately, the spirit in you is like, "Yo, you got to make that right."
Yep.
They don't have that spirit. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. The Lord didn't put that spirit in them to do, like, to think like that. That's why we have to fear the Lord and every day confess our sins and pray that He keeps the spirit on us, man. Verse 15, it says, "Thus will I accomplish my wrath upon the wall and upon them that have dubbed it with untempered mortar, and will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that dubbed it. To wit, the prophets of Israel, which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and which see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace."
Hmm.
A lot of you guys, you hate, starting with the apostles and elders on down. All right, you hate us, and you say we're fear mongering, but we're just telling you the truth. We're not coming into a time of peace, man. We're not even in a time of peace. That's the scriptures. The scriptures say that they will get onto them with itching ears, teachers with itching ears. Say preach unto us peace and safety, and lies and deceits. Roughly paraphrasing. Saith the Lord Yahweh. Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against the daughters of my people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy against them. Say, no, that was it. That was it on that.
Yep.
Yeah, Con. So that's my last precept. I don't know if brothers having lasting statements or precepts.
We got one last precept.
Con.
Sirach 1:27 is the point. It reads, for the fear of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is wisdom, instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight.
Yeah, Con.
Instruction. You got to read this because we know by faith we're between the 6th and the 7th seal. And you brought out a powerful precept as well that tied everything together in regards to pro and con. The pro meaning the single eye of purpose, and the con meaning all the confusion that comes with being disobedient. Right? And if you could go to the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter, and just read from the 17th verse. The point is in the 19th verse, right? Because you did mention this single eye of purpose. This is how this started. So I just wanted to touch on that.
Con, Revelation 11:17, and it reads.
Start at 17. Start at 17, brother.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh, okay. Slack
Con,
all good.
It says Revelation 11:17, saying, "We give thee thanks, O Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Esau, Edom, and the rest of the nations that partake. It says, "And the temple of Yahweh was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament."
Okay, that's the point, right? Going back to Isaiah 8:20 real quick, right? The single eye of purpose with the elect, they're going to be looking, right? Because that veil is down, so they're permitted to see, and they see this ark, right? Which that ark is really Yahweh Shai. Of course, there is a furniture there as well, but the focus is not so much the furniture, but the one who represents the furniture, which is the ark, the singleness of purpose. Our lawyer, if you mean, our savior on our behalf that the Father has set up. Okay, go ahead, continue.
And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and earthquakes and great hail.
Now, I want to say this for the record, right? When that person comes out of there, there's like a when the Day of Atonement and the Passover, if you go back to understanding the atonement and also Passover, when the high priest comes out of the temple, there's like a tarry, so to speak. So I'm saying that to say that the elect understands this process. Though it tarry, wait for it, it'll come. Right? Because it's the single eye of purpose is to keep watching our Savior, okay, as watchmen of the Lord. So I just thought I'd mention that, but you notice the things that happens, okay, after. lightnings, voices, thunderings, earthquake, and great hail. That's going into destruction. The great hail, as we know. So it's serious, man. But those guys, they gotta, and I'm just saying, we just gotta stay on with that single eye of purpose and continue to cry and sigh for the abominations that are done therein. That's all I got, brother, on that.
Yeah, so with that, we're going to close this lesson. Lord willing, this was edifying to the whole full elect of the nation of Israel. All right, and shalom to the brothers on the comment board too. Beautiful precepts. So we're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Shem, Yahushua, Shem, all right, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and has taught us this word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy as well to the whole full elect that are also pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And you little man sisters that believe as well, peace and mercy to you. So we're going to say Abad Babal. And Lord willing, to next live lesson, we say Shalom to the whole full elect.
Shalom.
To the whole full elect. Yeah.